Welcome to another edition of the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase. Tonight we continue our mission of helping to support original music in the Delaware Valley with our three-step process. Listen, experience, and pass on original music. So let's get started. Tonight's band calls Bethlehem home, but their song 309 shows their roots to the Delaware Valley. So let's meet Ginger and the Schnappes here on the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase.
grateful to Paula and to George for what they've done here. You know, you're allowed to do this again. It's about time somebody put Delaware on the map. We have got so many good musicians, and I am just so honored to be up here among the nominees with all the ones that are here. I mean, they're just so great. The Watson brothers, the Hurricanes, just everybody. I can't believe what a wonderful thing this is.
During these difficult times, it's nice to know there are places that are trying to bring you some normalcy and still look out for your health. The Blue Crab Grill is one of those places, and you can enjoy a social distance dining experience or just get curbside pickup. All you have to do is call 302-737-1100 for a reservation or to place an order, or bluecrabgrill.com and make your reservation. And remember, we're all in this together. So now you got a taste of their music. Let's find out more about them in the interview.
Starting out in Philadelphia, gonna take this highway all the way. I got the pedal to the metal, got the wheel in my head, driving up Route 309.
So Joe's been a musician since forever. That's his professional life. I was a doctor for 24 years, and then I finally had a belly full and left medicine, started a second career with my husband in real estate, and then figured, let's try to do some of the things that bring me a little joy now that I don't have to work 100 hours a day in medicine. So I decided I'm gonna sing. I sang all through college. I sang all through medical school. I did that just purely for entertainment and stress relief, and now I'm gonna do something with it. So I went online and I saw this named Joe Mixon. He helps people get started in music. He even does a little voice training. Like, wait a minute, I know that guy. My daughter used to go to school with his daughter 100 years ago. So we met up and he tuned me back up a little bit. And then he invited me to his jazz jam, which is, Joe will talk about that. It's just amazing. And I met more musicians and I tuned up pretty good. And then we brought together the musicians he knew, and with the encouragement of my husband, we started a band. Now we're a 6-piece band.
We got playing together at the Artisan Wine and Cheese Cellar. That's in Bethlehem here on Lehigh Street. And bi-monthly Wednesday night jazz experience, jazz jam. Mary Ellen, as long as many other people, got up and sang, shared songs, and out of it grew the band with Vern Obley on drums, Brian Bortz on bass, Patrick Kirsten on keys, and Dan Twidell on saxophone. And we performed a couple gigs together. Everything felt pretty good. And then Mary Ellen and I decided to kind of take a stab at doing more original music instead of doing just all covers. We started writing together middle of probably 2019.
Right.
She had done lyrics.
Pre-pandemic. It all started pre-pandemic in that life.
Back in the day, I was putting together some original songs for a concert, and she wrote lyrics for me to one of my pieces, and I thought it turned out really good. She performed it, and we were really happy with it. So we decided to take it further and wrote 16 or so songs over the last year or so, and then just in December we went into the studio with 10 of them for our debut album, yet to be entitled.
So Joe would write the music, and he said, "Do you think you can put words to this?" And I could. My my mother's mother was a poet. My mother was a librarian. So my major in college was anthropology. I did nothing but write papers all the time. So I was good with words. And if Joe gives me the structure, he gives me the music, and then I'll listen like, oh, that's happy, that's sad. Oh, that feels like longing. And then I would put the words to it. We're a jazz swing cabaret band. So we're great with swing. We've got a nice full sound, so we're good for swing dancers. We're cabaret in that the lyrics and the delivery of the lyrics, it can get that personal cabaret feel. And then these are jazz musicians, so the chords and the solos are very jazzy.
Yeah, I think that says it really well. The biggest difference between whether we call ourselves a pop group or a jazz group, to me, comes down to, on the pop side, we'd be looking to do the songs relatively identical every time we perform them. Get just like a cover band, we would do our own material, but exactly. Being that we're on the jazz side, we leave each show to have creative freedom. Each time you see the band, you're gonna hear our originals, but they might not be exactly the same. They might be slightly slower, different tempos. There might be different solos. And certainly with the musicians doing improvisation, it's much more like a conversation between all of us, as opposed to just a band backing up a singer.
In the band are very experienced musicians. This is not their first rodeo. And so, and in particular, Joe Mixon on guitar, Brian Borst on bass, and Vern Mobley on drums. They've played together in the past too. So they almost have a sixth sense of what's going on. They read the room beautifully. They a little nod, and we know whether we're gonna drag this solo out or whether we're going to chop it short, whether we're going to do more dance tunes or whether we're going to do more listening tunes. It's because these musicians are so experienced and have a history with each other. From my point of view, it goes very easily. I'm not the one doing that work. It's the guys doing that work, but they seem to do it effortlessly.
As far as the jazz thing, it's easy to get pigeonholed into being a certain style of music, and then like, hey, if you don't know that one, I think we strive to make our music accessible to anybody. If you're like, quote unquote, never heard a jazz group and you came to hear us, I don't think you'd be put off. We keep it more friendly, like you're sitting down with friends, as opposed to, hey, like you're going to the concert hall, be quiet, listen, don't interact with us, we're above you. I think Miles Davis said it really well. He called jazz social music. He said, we don't play jazz, we play social music. We play music for people. So to us, that's what our music is. It's music for people.
now it's time for more music from Ginger and the Schnappes here on the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase.
Missing you, nothing to do. I've had a few. Now I'm drunk and dreamy. I'd love to rest my head on your shoulder, but instead I'm alone. Oh my dear, I want you here. My love is clear when I'm drunk and dreamy. Without you by my side, I just get bleary-eyed all alone. I feel like I could reach out and fly into your arms, no longer to be all alone. Evening is nigh, the moon is high, and so am I, so drunk and dreamy. Until you're home to stay, I'll just be this way, all alone. It feels like I could reach out and fly into your arms, no longer to be all alone. Missing you, nothing to do. I've had a few. Now I'm drunk and dreamy. I want you by my side to sing your lullaby to my soul. Evening is nigh, the moon is high, and so am I.
During these difficult times, it's nice to know there are places that are trying to bring you some normalcy and still look out for your health. The Blue Crab Grill is one of those places, and you can enjoy a social distance dining experience or just get curbside pickup. All you have to do is call 302-737-1100 for a reservation or to place an order, or bluecrabgrill.com and make your reservation. And remember, we're all in this together.
I really feel so grateful to Paula and to George for what they've done here. You know, you're allowed to do this again. It's about time somebody put Delaware on the map. We have got so many good musicians, and I am just so honored to be up here among the nominees with all the ones that are here. I mean, they're just so great. The Watson brothers, the Hurricanes, just everybody. I can't believe what a wonderful thing this is.
Be bopping along, singing a song. I see a girl wearing my frock. Her look was so fine, much better than mine. I did a double stop. Her shoes and her hair were beyond compare. Next to her, I looked like a mop. I started to stare, then changed to a glare right there in my double stop. I thought I was so put together, float along just like a feather. But her look's a double header. I dare not ask who wore it better. Her bag was divine, her makeup sublime, her silhouette, it was tip-top. I sashayed away, what could I say? Caught in a double stop. Adele. along, singing my song. I see a girl wearing my frock. Her look was so fine, much better than mine. I did a double stop. Her shoes and her hair were beyond compare. Next to her, I looked like a mop. I started to stare, then changed to a glare right there in my double stop. I thought I was so put together, float along just like a feather. But her look's a double header. I dare not ask who wore it better. Her bag was divine, her makeup sublime, her silhouette it was tip-top. I sashayed away, what could I say? Caught in a double stop. Caught in a double stop. Caught in a double stop. Caught in a double stop.